Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of Chase's org thingy, Chase's Survivor org thingy, season 6 Survivor All-Stars, and right now we're down to the final 8. We have Chase, JB, Nevid, Bayback, Joffy, Jack, Evan, and Deku. And right now it is kind of a 5-3 of Chase, JB, Bayback, Evan, and Deku versus Joffy, Jack, and Nevid. So, what's going on? Well, right now, Joffy has a plan of what he wants to have happen. He wants to bring in someone from that 5 and have a 4-4 alliance go head-to-head. He's going to use his idol shard to negate one vote, and they're going to have the majority, and they're going to take somebody out from the big alliance. Now, the challenge has already happened, and this was all pre-challenge stuff. I just know the results. I don't know anything past that because nothing past that has really happened. But right now, it looks like Joffy is either trying to pull in Chase, Bayback, or Evan. And they're going to tell them a wrong name, and then they're going to vote for somebody else. So it will be a 4-3-1, I think. Which I don't know why that. Now that I think about that, that's an interesting plan to have 3 votes go against 4, because if you idol shard, then it's a 3-3 and it goes to rocks, and the one person that you flipped was then lied to, but they're doing it so that if an idol is played, that it gets played incorrect, but that still wouldn't. I don't know. I just thought about that for a second logically, but that's Joffy's plan. Meanwhile, JB and Bayback are plotting and planning and scheming, and JB wants to get out Evan, and she knows that Bayback has been trying to get out Evan for the entire merge, basically, and Bayback's like, yeah, no, I'm game. JB hasn't told Deku or Chase this, I don't believe, or at least she hasn't said in confessionals that she hasn't said in confessionals that she has told them. Either of them. And Deku and Chase haven't mentioned any knowledge of that plan in their confessionals. But that brings us to the challenge. So this next challenge is touchy subjects. So there's also one more thing to go over here after announcing this challenge. So Bayback, in the last episode, I mentioned he's worried about the curse. This is his 9th tribal of the season. In Season 1 and Season 4, both times he played, he went out on his 9th tribal. Season 4 was the only time that we have had the 2 immunity necklaces twist of you play for Necklace 1 or Necklace 2, and then you have the double tribal. Well, Bayback went home right after that challenge. And in Season 1, Bayback went home at the Touchy Subjects challenge. So this should be interesting. So I'm going to read out the results to Touchy Subjects, and then I will the correct answers, the questions, correct answers, and then who the top 3 were. So first question is, who would you like to hang out the most with in real life? The most common answer was JB. Next is, who's the most likely to have an idol? The correct answer that everyone guessed was Deku. Also, I should probably mention this, everyone made a personal list of their answers, and that's where you get the correct answer, and then everyone guessed an answer for who they think everybody else chose. So, Hangout IRL, most people said JB, and if you guessed JB correctly, you get a point, and whoever has the most points wins. All your answers will not be shown, but if you guessed correctly, you will be said, if I guessed correctly for JB, it would go, Chase was correct. Who's most likely to have an idol? If I didn't say Deku and guessed Evan, then nothing would come up. I just wouldn't be talked to or brought up. So, the third question is, who is in the best spot to win? Majority answered JB. Next is, who's in the worst spot to win, and the majority answered Nevid. Who thinks that they are falsely running the game? Majority said Evan. Who is the most likable? Majority said, JB. Number 7, who is the most annoying? There were 3 correct answers that tied for this one, and that's Deku, Jack, and Nevid. Number 8, who is the most connected? Correct answer was JB. Number 9, Who do you think is going to win this challenge? The correct answers are JB or Deku. Number 10, who's going to get voted out next if they don't win immunity? The majority said Jack, even though there is a plot on Evan to go home, and I don't know who Joffy's trying to go for, but Jack's name isn't really out there. Number 11, who is the most likely to backstab you? The majority answered Evan, but nobody guessed it correctly. Number 12, who do you trust the most? The majority answered Joffy. And the final question, who is playing the most under the radar game? And the majority said Chase. So, in third place with 8 out of 13 correct was JB. In second place with 9 out of 13 correct is Deku. And winning this, getting 10 out of 13, is Evan. So, this JB blindside is not going to plan. Her and Bayback immediately in confessionals are like, damn it! So, I don't know who their new target's going to be. I don't know if JB's going to try and cannibalize, or if she's just going to settle for a Jack. Or if they're going to try and get somebody else out. And then I also don't know who Joffy is going for right now either. But it looks like Joffy is trying to pull in Bayback the most. But it could be Evan. But Chase has also said that he was willing to flip to them. But Chase never elaborated on that in confessionals. And none of them really... They're like, okay, cool. Chase said, yeah. Who else can we flip? Like, out of the real people, who do we flip? And it's just like, why are you ignoring my boy Chase? I mean, I'm glad you're ignoring Chase because he's the inferior Chase, and I'm the superior Chase, of course. But I have no idea what's going to happen for this vote. Alright, so there are currently 4 names being thrown around, and things have gotten a little bit crazy. So, JB and Joffy are going at each other. JB's wanting Joffy out, Joffy wanting JB out, and Bayback is in the middle going, why? Why? The 2 people that I don't want to vote for, why are they going for each other? But then we also have Bayback's name out there from Evan, who's trying to get Bayback out. And then Joffy is going through with his plan of trying to pull in a flipper and give them a wrong name, but he's also trying to pull in Bayback. So, Joffy pulled in Chase and is telling Chase to vote for Deku, which it seems like Chase is very open to the idea of voting off Deku. So, you have what seems to be JB and Deku are voting for Joffy. Chase might be voting for Joffy, we don't know. Evan wants to vote for Bayback, but will probably end up voting for Joffy, assuming that JB and Deku convince him, which they probably would. And no one really wants to do Bayback right now. Then on the other hand, you have Joffy, Jack, and Nevid voting for what seems to be JB, but Bayback is a 4th, trying to protect JB. So we have 4 on 4. And this 4, I'll call this JB's 4. We have JB and Deku. Then you have Evan, who might do something else. And you have Chase, who might do something else. Then you have a solid 3 that are going to decide what to do. And then you have Bayback, which might do something else. So this is one of the crazy, most unorganized votes that I have seen in a long time. I don't know who's going to end up getting the most votes. Joffy is playing an idol shard on himself, so it seems like Joffy might be safe, because it would most likely be a 4-4. It seems like Bayback is leaning towards siding with Joffy and them, but Bayback wants to vote out Chase, so he's trying to protect JB. He can't go for Evan because Evan's immune. He doesn't want to go for Deku because JB would be way more pissed at Bayback for getting out Deku than Chase. So Bayback is trying to get out Chase so that JB and Evan can cannibalize each other next round, and then he can kind of be the lone survivor. But he knows that JB is probably going to be very pissed at him and not want to work with him if he votes out Chase. So there are so many things that are happening in this vote right now. Joffy's giving Chase a fake name so that an idol is played on Deku. if they have an idol, because they all think that someone over there has an idol. Chase is going along with it, but also isn't, because it's not clear what Chase is thinking. Evan is going for Bayback, but probably won't. Bayback has agreed to both sides, but doesn't want to do either of them, and is trying to get out Chase. So we have 4 hours, actually no, 5 hours, until Tribal. And I don't even know, no votes are in yet. No one has even submitted a vote. So I don't even have that to go off of like I usually do. So things are getting crazy. We'll see how they end up. The messy vote just gets messier. So Jack and Joffy and Nevid have played this beautifully. This is one of the best that I've ever seen a vote be played. So they have convinced Chase that they are voting for Deku. And Chase is convinced that they're voting for Deku, and Chase is so convinced that he thinks that was his idea that they were going to vote Deku, not Jack and Joffy, who purposefully set up Deku as the alternative vote, or as the fake vote. And meanwhile, Evan is now pushing hard for Bayback, and also believes that Deku is on board with this, and that Chase is on board with this. But Chase is voting Deku, Evan is voting Bayback, Deku is voting Joffy, JB is offline, so she hasn't voted yet. Meanwhile, Bayback has finally chosen a side and is agreeing to vote off JB with Jack, Joffy, and Nevid. And Joffy is also using an idol shard on himself. So it looks like JB is going to be finally voted out after being targeted from what? Final 18, Final 19 on? So well over 10 people, or 10 vote-offs in a row, she has survived being the #1 target. So it looks like JB's going home here, but there's still an hour. JB just got online, and it's JB. So we will see if anything happens last minute. But right now, it's a 4-1 to 1-1 vote, with JB still deciding what to do. So we shall see. So the plot thickens even more. So Chase and Evan both believe 100% that their plan is going to work out fine, and that the votes are going to they're going to have 4 votes on to whoever their target is. Chase believes that there's going to be a majority on Deku, and Evan believes that there's going to be 4 votes on to Bayback. However, Evan is trying to convince JB right now to vote for Bayback. He's saying that Deku told them, yeah, I'll vote for Bayback, to which then Deku tells JB, oh, by the way, I lied to Evan about this, don't worry about him. To which JB is going, why would you lie to Evan about this? Because now Evan believes that he has you as a number. Well, Chase also lied to Evan about this, so Evan believes that if JB votes for Joffy, that would be a 4-3 to 1, and Deku would go home because JB didn't vote with the majority. JB, however, knows that Chase and Deku aren't voting for Bayback, and that it's only Evan voting for Bayback, so now JB is trying to convince Evan that him voting for Bayback would be the 4-3 to 1 situation he's worried about. However, he would be the one. And in all actuality, Evan and Chase are both the ones, JB and Deku are 2, and then there's another 4 that are just kind of sitting back and laughing. Like, they don't know that this is happening. But this is the weirdest break of an alliance that I have ever seen, like, strategic breakdown. Because they had such a solid 5 going in. We get out Evan, it'll be simple and easy. Evan wins immunity, JB goes, we're going for Joffy. Joffy's going, we're going for JB. Bayback's like, I hate all of this, why am I in the middle? But JB's going to kick my ass in FTC, Joffy won't, so I'm going to side with Joffy instead. And then Evan and Chase both break apart. Deku is just kind of there for the ride. And JB comes walking in with Starbucks in her hand to a burned down room and is like, what the hell did I walk into? So it's looking like JB is going to be sent home. It's not clear what the final vote count is going to be. But even if all four of them band together and vote for Joffy, Joffy is playing the idol shard on himself, so it would be a 4-3 if Chase and Evan get on the same page. But Evan is 50-50 depending on who he's going to vote for, and Chase, I doubt, is going to switch his vote because he believes that he has a majority with Jack, Joffy, and Nevid, and it doesn't really matter what happens with Evan and that whole subplot over there. Basically, there's a bunch of really weird subplots in this vote. So we shall see what happens. Well, at the end of Tribal Council, JB ends up going home in a 4-1 vote because Joffy played an idol shard, negating one of the votes for him. So it was 4-2-1-1, but because of the shard, 4-1-1-1. And JB, after being targeted with probably the biggest target I've ever seen, probably even bigger than Soccer's in Season 1, JB survived that target for, 10, 11 rounds? Made some of the best plays I have ever seen, played one of the best social games, and was the power player of the season that controlled everything, even from the bottom, most of the time. Like, she never had numbers and still somehow survived and controlled and got to happen what she wanted to have happen. And JB is finally taken out. The queen has fallen, as some people have said. But this is also really interesting because it opens up a lot of avenues for other people to win. Because in Ponderosa, the jury was talking about how JB would 100% get their vote in the end. So now this opens it up. Does it go to Evan or Deku now if they make it to the end? Does it more go towards Joffy for being kind of the head of that other alliance, or Jack? Or does it go to Bayback, who's been playing the middle beautifully this whole time? And does Bayback actually pick a side? Chase and Nevid, are they going to be able to pick it up where a lot of the jury members aren't really looking at them right now? Will they be able to play very hard and use their shield strategy well and make it to that end with an actual resume and be able to play through it now that some of the bigger players have started to fall round after round after round? So this is going to be really interesting to see what happens next. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.